Ow! Huples cat! It's snowing! And that's not good news for COVID-19. COVID-19 is a disease you get from the virus which is called SARS-CoV-2, just for giggles and fun. I love how they complicate everything for no reason. I think Wuhan flu was a good name, but whatever. So Praxis Prepper today did a video on getting infected from Amazon delivery.
Hey everybody, this is Praxis, and today we're talking about the COVID-19 virus and a blind spot that I think a lot of preppers might be missing when it comes to protecting themselves and their families.
And he has a slight point. The risk from parcels is very, very small. The risk from the person delivering the parcels is fairly high. The risk from the inside of the parcels, if it's fast delivery, could be reasonably high. So I actually made a comment on his channel and told people what to do. And you can go over and check Praxis' video for that, because I'm in a bit of a rush today because I have to go back to work even though I'm still got obvious signs of flu. Quarantining is a big thing right now, but everybody doesn't quite know what they're doing with it. So when you have more than one entry to the house, use one entry only, okay? And the most riskiest thing you're going to find in my house for me to get infected by other people is the handles. All the handles. Anything anybody touches, okay? You want to wipe that down once a day as a routine, and you want to wipe it down before anybody else touches it. If you're unsure, wipe it down. So what you should be carrying around with you if you're walking around is an N95, no beard or moustache. I have to shave before I go to work today. Because people who are out there telling you about they know what to do about COVID-19 and are wearing full beards at this point are absolutely thick, and you really should unsubscribe them. Really thick. Think about it. Anyway, so you have an N95 on you to put on if you feel you're at risk when you're outside. But you should also have one of these carried around with you. You should have your own squirty bottle. The handles on these get heavily used, especially in hospitals and doctors' offices. Use your own. You can wipe them down first, etc., etc. You are going to sterilise your hand to some degree and then touch the tops. Try not to have shared ones of these if you possibly can. That's really it. You don't particularly need to have a gown and a gas mask on when you go outside right now. You should be limiting going outside, so the N95 should only be if you have to go and get food supplies because you haven't prepped before the pandemic hit. So think about how you're going to constrict your lifestyle and still get paid and still go to work and still have the kids go to school until such time as you pull them out or they're cancelled. Because that's highly likely to happen if it outbreaks in your area. Guest coming, and here he comes. Whoop, whoop. Here comes Mr. Bear. Oh. Checking out Becky's pee. There! So the guest is coming in, and I stop him there, and I get the guest to wipe their hands. If they have any protective equipment on, the first thing they're going to do is actually put them into a closed bag box. Now this is not ideal. I want a taller one and I want it foot operated. But it's better than an open bag. Then they're going to take off their gloves and put them in there, and then they're going to wash their hands. Come in, leave the door open. This inside should not be touched. This handle here should not be touched. So when they come in, get them to put their gloves into there, get them to wash their hands, get them to remove their face mask and put it in there, get them to wash their hands. If they have additional PPE, the mask is always the last thing to come down. If you have a parcel, leave it outside in the sunlight. After about 4 or 5 hours, turn it around and wait 4 or 5 hours and you should be fine. If you're completely paranoid when you bring it in the house, just wear gloves and a face mask for opening it. Really critical, the opening phase. Now when you've done that,
I brought the box up here. The countertop now is hot. It's infected, presumably. I'm going to take my knife and, you know, some people might be thinking, why am I not wearing a respirator? That's something I could do if the environment gets, you know, more intense, and I have a real reason to believe that this is definitely, you know, a contagious item here. You know, I would probably be doing respirators. At this point, it is, you know, I don't think we're to that degree yet, but I'm still kind of taking these precautions, kind of a practice, and it's easy to add the respirator.
I would advise going around your house and toilets, toilet handles, banisters, phones, computers, power plugs, plug iPads in, all of that stuff. I would be wiping it down with a strong bleach solution or something like this, at least once a day, for now. Do remember, if you've done all of these Praxis preparedness precautions to deal with your Amazon box.
The inside of this box is probably not contaminated because these guys were probably packaged quite a while ago, but I'm going to presume that what's inside here is contaminated.
The inside of the box is probably the most likely to be contaminated. The research study that I looked at said it can live, COVID-19 is the disease, SARS-CoV-2, the virus can live for 9 days in ideal conditions on metal and plastic surfaces. I think that's unlikely, and I think the advice that it's going through extremes of temperature and being bounced around and all the rest of it that the government's giving you is fairly true. I think the biggest problem you're going to have with home delivery is it stops if there's an outbreak in your area. So that's it from me. Keep safe and don't overreact, but do sensible reactions. And do remember, if anybody right now is online with a beard or a moustache telling you how to prep for COVID-19, the disease, unsubscribe them, never look at them again. They're an absolute crazy idiot. They're completely unprepared for somebody coming straight up to them in the street, coughing, saying, help me, I need an ambulance. They have no prep for that. I do. I can whip out my N95 and put it on. Okay? Honestly, I don't know what these people are thinking or what they think this is going to be. It will not be the end of the world. It is going to be a significant issue unless it weakens in the very near future. But in 6 months to 9 months from now, things will be good. Doodles! That was a Bull Terrier 2020 production.
Well, it's supposed to be a cone to stop her licking her wounded leg. We'll see if it works.
It's quite dashing, isn't it?
It's not up the other way because I'm afraid she'll fall over.
Put it up the other way, that's fun.
I'll be on it, dear.
It's supposed to be this way round. Oh my goodness, if it was red, she'd be a handmaiden. Yeah, you're probably quite right. It's probably not that safe.
No.
They're very dashing, Becky. Very, very dashing.